Hi, I'm Michael Siddle,
And I'm Nik Nanos.
and welcome to Trendline. Nick, where are we now in the election? How many days to go?
Hey, it's September 1st. What does that mean? According to the Flying Nanos brothers, my sons, we say 19 more sleeps, Dad, till election day. So there you go. How's that? It's now we're now in September.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's already September. Sleep. I personally not getting much sleep yet. I have a very young son, Nick, as you know, who's been getting up extremely early, and we record this podcast very early. But I'm energized by the numbers today. I think
Well, hold on a second. What time does he usually wake up?
uh 6, maybe 5
Oh,
a.m.
well, 5 o'clock. Maybe he
Yeah.
can maybe he can help me crunch the numbers because all the pollsters are up at 4:50, checking
Oh
all
my
the
gosh.
numbers and doing stuff. So I don't know how mathematically inclined your son is, but it's always good to have another set of eyes on that. How's that?
We're working on the first three numbers so far, 1, 2, and 3. and
Good start.
also that's really early. I will not complain anymore, Nick, because you're getting up much earlier than I am. So much appreciated. So yeah, let's look at the daily numbers.
Well, in the latest CTV Globe Nanos tracking conducted last night, we have the Conservatives at 33.7, Liberals 31.0, NDP 20.3, Bloc 6.8, People's Party 4.1, Green Party 3.5. And I'll tell you, Michael,
Hmm.
last night was not a good night for the Liberals. You can see compared to the yesterday's tracking had basically a dead heat. Now we have a little bit of a mini advantage or a smidgen of an advantage for the Conservatives. Still a tight race, but yesterday not a great night for the Liberals in the nightly tracking.
Wow. Still too early to call any trend here, but that's a bit of a drop there. Nick, how about the preferred PM numbers?
Well, in the preferred PM numbers, it's getting even tighter. The numbers that were completed last night has Justin Trudeau as preferred prime minister of 29.2%, nipping on his heels. O'Toole, 28.4, so less than 1 percentage point between the two frontrunners. Jagmeet Singh at 19.2, people that don't know at 13.2, and then I'll just say the rest who are not even within striking distance. So the interesting thing here is that, for Aaron O'Toole, he's still been able to maintain his gains compared to August the 12th, where he was only at 18%, so his 10-point pickup. And Justin Trudeau about 6 points lower than he was on August the 12th, and a tight coin toss on the preferred prime minister front.
So, we're in September now, but at the very end of August, last night, August 31st, we got kind of an economic bombshell dropped on the campaign. The GDP results came out, and for the first time since our economy started recovering, we took a hit on our GDP. That's big news for the campaign.
Oh, absolutely. The thing is the news yesterday that the economy had shrank is not good, would not be good for any incumbent government. The last thing that you want is for the numbers to come out and to suggest that the economy is shrinking. And you know what, Michael, we've talked in past podcasts about why the Liberals probably wanted an election at this particular point in time. They wanted it because they wanted to run on their pandemic. They wanted to hope that there was a vaccine halo, and they wanted to get ahead of the potential bad news from the disruption and the adjustment that will take place in the economy.
Mm-hmm.
So this GDP number is bad for the Liberals. It undermines one of the key pillars that they were hoping would be in place. It basically, GDP is not a sexy issue, I'll say that, but it's going to grind on the Liberals if the opposition parties take advantage of this, because Canadians are going to be grumpy.
How are consumers feeling these days?
They're feeling grumpy, Michael, feeling grumpy. And the latest Bloomberg Nanos tracking that we do every week on consumer confidence, when we ask Canadians whether they think the economy will get stronger or weaker in the next 6 months, about 37% of Canadians believe that the economy will get stronger. But the bad news is in the last 4 weeks, it has dropped a full 7 percentage points. About 30% of Canadians believe that the economy will get weaker, and about 25% no change. But the key number here is the trend. The trend in terms of consumer confidence has been dropping over the last couple of weeks. And couple that with a drop or shrinking of the economy in the GDP, it is basically a 1-2 punch in terms of creating negativity, anxiety, and concern among Canadians when it comes to the economy.
For the Conservatives on their side, they've already released their economic platform. Conservative leader Aaron O'Toole has been asked some tough questions about it, though, because he says that he wants to balance the books in 10 years and there are no cuts. He really is depending on economic growth. So this is not great news for his campaign either.
Well, the thing is that one thing for the Conservatives, there's a higher bar for the Conservatives when it comes to the economy and their platform, because people believe that the Conservatives are stronger on fiscal and economic issues. That means their fiscal plan, their economic plan, their plan for prosperity has to be effectively bulletproof. And I think what some of the initial reaction from some economists has suggested that some of the assumptions of growth, 3% growth, are just not realistic. And as a result, it's going to be hard for Aaron O'Toole to meet his objectives. And you know what? These GDP numbers don't help Aaron O'Toole, because if the economy is shrinking and your fiscal plan is based on the economy growing, it's hard to reconcile those two things, at least for average voters.
Nik, you've got some really interesting numbers coming out of the Greater Toronto area that just came out this week. So we can really drill down into I know it's a cliche, I'm going to say it, vote-rich Ontario. But it is true. There's a lot of us, me included, in the GTA.
Well, do the math. Come on, Michael. It's not, you got to call it the way it is.
So any surprises in the numbers? Let's go over them.
Well, in the poll that we did for CP24 and CTV News in the GTA, the 416-905, I think the number that really popped was the unprompted issue of concern of residents in the GTA. Housing, Michael, housing. More than 4 out of every 10 residents in the GTA unprompted, which means when they could say whatever they wanted, identified housing as their top concern. And then after that was transit, not a big surprise. But, I think this speaks to the fact, and a lot of the campaigns have been talking about housing. Actually, all the campaigns have engaged on this issue. But, I think in the GTA, at least, this is an exceptionally important issue. It really resonates quite strongly among individuals in the GTA that are under 35 years of age, like millennials who want to buy a home or just thinking about paying the rent or just trying to kind of, pay the bills. And it puts into focus, at least for the GTA strategy. Maybe we kind of, what's that one American strategist? It's the economy, stupid.
Right.
That's probably what GTA residents want to say to any politician from any stripe. It's housing, stupid. Housing affordability. Can't afford to buy a home. Can't afford to pay rent. And they want concrete plans from all of the federal party leaders on that.
In terms of the different areas of the GTA, like the 416 or the core Toronto area, the suburbs, the 905, where are they leaning right now in terms of political support?
Well, the GTA traditionally is a stronghold for the Liberal Party of Canada, and the Liberals are comfortably ahead in the GTA, but they're doing quite well in the 416, which is the downtown Toronto area. In the 905, they still have the advantage. But I think what's interesting is that in the 905, when we asked residents who best understands the issues in the GTA, it was almost a 3-way tie between Justin Trudeau, Aaron O'Toole, and Jagmeet Singh, that about just as many, between 20 to 24%, 25% of GTA residents in the 905 said either one of those three. So that means that, there's also opportunity not just for Aaron O'Toole, but for Jagmeet Singh. He's got a good brand. His brand is exceptionally strong among under 35s in the GTA. And if he can get young people to get out and vote, could be a bit of a game changer for him.
Yeah, and all parties, as you say, are really pushing forward on housing. They're all really going after that concern that GTA voters have. I noticed in your numbers too, Green Party leader Annamie Paul, who's running in a Toronto riding. Her party's numbers are fairly low in the GTA, which surprised me.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very tough campaign for the Green Party. And let's face it, the last couple of elections for the Greens actually haven't been too bad. They won 3 seats in the last federal election, and Elizabeth May has helped put the Green Party on the agenda. She effectively participated in all the leaders' debates. Still about 3 out of every 10 Canadians on any given day would be open to voting for the Green Party, and that this was almost their moment in time. And then they messed it up themselves between squabbles and conflict between the Green Governing Council and Enemy Paul, the leader, where they've basically, I don't even know how to describe it, but they've basically taken away resources from the leader in order for the leader to wage a national campaign. So now, Enemy Paul, this should have been a big introduction for her to the Canadian electorate. They should have been able to see and hear a lot from her, and for her to kind of crisscross the country to share her vision, her green vision for the future. And now she's kind of stuck in her riding. She's, it's not really a party leader if you're just only in your riding running, and there's no coattails. There's no coattails for the Green Party. And it's a significant missed opportunity for Enemy Paul to define her brand also at this critical time.
She will be participating in the English language debate next week. So we'll see if that has any impact. So we'll see.
No, absolutely. That'll be an opportunity for her. But, the thing is there's going to be a lot of fireworks in both of the French and the English debates, because the debates are so close to election day.
Nik, as always, thanks very much. And where can we find you?
Find me on Twitter at Nik Nanos, or you can go to www.nanos.co.
And I'm also on Twitter at Michael Siddle, and you can find more information about what Nik and I have discussed at ctvnews.ca. And also, please subscribe to my colleague Rachel Aiello's election newsletter, Election Dispatch. Thanks very much.